Hi, I'm Dan from HValley Tools. Today we're going to be talking about this router table available at HValleyTools.com. So when you're building out your shop, you're using a router for a lot of different things. It's going to get to a point where it's just going to be more comfortable to have a dedicated table. A lot of people put them in the table saw, in their extension wings or all that. I'm not a fan of that. I like to have a dedicated table for a couple reasons. One, it doesn't get in the way of the table saw. And honestly, the way that this one is built is such heavy duty construction that it's worth getting this dedicated table. So some of the highlights of this, the most important honestly, is this is a phenolic top. So it's not MDF, it's not plastic, and the thing is it has the tolerances that cast iron does. So a lot of people put the cast iron wing onto the table saw, or they try to opt in for a cast iron top. It's really not worth the money to go to a cast iron because this has the same tolerances. This isn't just plastic that's or MDF that's laminated. What's also nice is that it has all the pre-drilled holes when you get assembly, when it's time to assemble it, so that you don't have to use self-tapping screws. You could remove it, you can disassemble it, you can put something else onto it if you really wanted to, but it's all built in with threaded inserts, and it's just part of the table itself. So it's just really, really solid, and it's very, very heavy duty. Some of the other ones that are on the market, while they look like they have the same features, they just don't have the sturdy construction that this does. It is very heavy duty, where it's not racking, it's not going to vibrate around where things are, your settings are going to change. The table fence or the fence is not going to move around. It's just very, very solid. So some of the things, it's 24 inches by 32 inches, so you have a really solid, large work surface to run your table, to run your workpiece through. And I like that there are other features that people think they want, but until you use this, you realize that this is actually a better construction. So first off is you loosen and tighten the knobs on here to move the fence. Some have a toggle. The other thing that's nice is that this plate, all this plate is really, really thick. It's heavy duty aluminum construction, as well as the 1/4 inch T-track slot and 3/4 inch miter slot. So all of this is built into this tabletop. So you could use the same miter gauge that you use for your table saw. You can slide that in here and push a piece through, or you can create other jigs with a T-slot and have different stops and different things that lock down, which is really nice. Similar to other router tables, you have these thick, hard plastic inserts. So the wider the bit, the wider the opening you're going to want, just to have some clearance. Smaller bit, the smaller opening. Comes with a heavy duty handle that's magnetic. Just pop it in. It comes out. Pretty simple. And I like that it has these really strong pins. It's just an easy way of modifying this, so you don't really have to think about it too much. The other thing that's nice about this heavy duty top is the phenolic top is strong enough where you can put any lift in it and it's not going to sag over time. So it can have the Pro lift that they sell here at HValley Tools. They have the U-turn lift that you can just manually crank on the side. It's just really nice because you know that the weight of the router, the weight of the lift, and everything is not going to ever make this thing sag, and it's just going to maintain its flatness, which is great, especially for a router operation where you want the tolerance of your cut to be the same throughout the entire piece. So moving on to the fence, again, heavy duty aluminum construction, which is really nice. The fence on each side of the table has a ruler that is adjustable. So if you move this ruler and have it flush with the front, it zeroes it out to the center of the plate with the center of the bit. It's nice to know that if you zero that out there, you at least know if you're doing repeat operations or you need to do some sort of fluting or something like that, where it's every 1/4 inch, every 1/2 inch or something. You can then move to the fence and you know that your measurement's accurate, which is really nice. So there are 3 super adjustable knobs. You don't need any tools to do this, which is really nice. You loosen those and it slides side to side. So if you were doing a really narrow bit, if you're doing say a 1/4 inch flush trim or straight bit or something like that, you could adjust this, loosen the ones on the back, move this closer, and just tighten them down, and that's really it. The other thing is that you have the ruler on top, so 0 again. In the middle, when this is clamped down, and for this operation specifically, if you have both rulers set to the same spot in the fence, your 0 here is also the center of the bit. So if you needed to do a stop operation or you needed to plunge for a mortise or something like that, you could really use this ruler and know that it's going to be accurate, which is really nice. The other feature that people don't really seem to know about or use that much because they don't know the advantages is that this fence can also be used as a joiner, especially for small pieces. The way that you do that is you loosen this side, and you have 2 of these inserts. So they fit snugly into the aluminum casting over here. And depending on which orientation you put those in, you either have a 16th or you have a 32-inch offset, which is essentially making that side proud. So as you are running a small piece, now you'll know if you have a small piece, if you're making boxes or you're making whatever, if you have skinny pieces, running those consistently over a joiner, especially if you have a larger joiner, especially if you have a straight knife larger joiner, it gets a little sketchy because you're, even with handles or push blocks or something, you're getting really close to the blade. There's a lot of vibration. It can be intimidating. This is so much simpler for small pieces, strips, whatever it might be. So you could essentially line that right up to the router bit, really sink it into this opening in here, have that little bit of offset, push it through, and now you're flushing it up, which is really, really nice. And then the last part I'll get to is the dust shroud on the back. So the dust shroud on the back is already better construction than other tables that I've seen. What's nice is that this is actually screwed into the body of the fence. Others have kind of this little plastic clip that sits in there. I've used them in the past, and unfortunately, even the weight of just a dust collection hose or a shop vac even, the weight of that and the vibration of the table was enough to pop it out and have it drop out. This literally cannot drop out because it's screwed in. Again, all the screws are pre-tapped, pre-drilled. It really secure, it fits securely in there, and it's really, this is now part of the fence. It can't come off. The last thing really to talk about is the stand itself. So this is, again, like most of the products that are here, it's very, very heavy duty. This entire table is heavy just to lift, to move around. It's not going to rack, especially if you're doing something like pushing a heavy piece of hard maple through a dovetail bit, something that would normally cause a lot of vibration and make the table feel a little bit flimsy. That is not the case with this. What's also nice is all the holes for these tops, all the tops that are sold here fit this base. The holes are all pre-drilled. They're all going to be completely in alignment. There are casters available for this. They're locking casters, so you could roll this around. You can step on the locking casters, and it doesn't move, which is really great. They have other accessories like essentially the side saddle bit holder, which is really nice for organizing all of your bits. Having all that in one package, it's really, really great. And then on the front, you have the start and stop switch, which essentially is just a turn off with your leg. So if you find yourself in a situation where you need the bit to stop or you're preventing kickback or something like that, you can just use your knee and just turn the thing off and just hold it there until the bit stops. So the fence is separate, the tabletop is separate, or the base is separate, but honestly, you can buy it all together. It's one package. You can get it now at HValleytools.com or come in store.